Hello, everybody. This is Gavin Nathan from GCRE TV. Today we have Christopher Perez, who's going to speak to us about financing and how it's affecting the commercial real estate industry from a financing perspective. So I would like to welcome Christopher Perez now. Christopher, hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am not too bad. Nice to have you on the show today.
Happy to be here.
Good, good. Where are you joining us from today, Christopher? Just so that the audience could kind of have an idea of where you are.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay, good, good. And what's the weather like in Philly right now?
It's hot. I'm ready for fall. It's we got a little bit of break over the weekend, but yeah, it's pretty hot here still. So I'm a
Yes.
full winter guy.
Okay, good. Yeah, I know I have a lot of people that actually ask me as well, like what it is like in Switzerland right now. Everybody, for
Yeah.
some reason, thinks it's always cold over here. But we've been really hot. Like you, I'm looking forward to welcoming this autumn weather as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, Christopher, you're the guy to go to for finance when it comes to the commercial real estate world, right?
Yeah.
Typically, with COVID happening right now, like how is that affecting your industry, or what do you see happening right now with the market conditions?
Well, when COVID first hit, it knocked lending for a bit of a loop like everyone. There was a lot of lenders, banks especially, and credit unions that were having a freeze. We had deals that were in process that got put on a back burner. Some secondary market lenders started to freeze. It's the same for everybody. It's just because a store was closed as well or mandatory closed. We were frozen for a good couple of months there, but now it's really starting to heat up. It's pretty incredible. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with true commercial office buildings, retail, but the investment property space is white hot. We are incredibly busy. As finance brokers, I mean, we're busier than we were when COVID hit, and look, it's going to be a very, very hot segment because especially government assistance housing, because the government's going to have to stick around for a while until we get through this. So investments is quite hot. Real estate, investing in real estate is a
Yeah.
sound investment. They're never going to make any more of it. So things are good right now.
Okay, cool. And in regards to like government help, like are you seeing a lot of help coming in from the government right now, or
A
are you
lot.
still seeing a lot of private lending happening, or the banks per
It's
se?
it's actually both. The government has been extraordinary through what's going on. Despite we're in an election year, so it's difficult to really gauge
Yeah,
who's doing what. But from our perspective, from
yeah,
finance, the
yeah,
government has stepped in and done a tremendous job of helping small businesses in our industry. And I could just tell you that from firsthand experience. We were involved in the payroll protection loans, and we see what EDIL is doing in Main Street lending. So the government has been doing, an incredible amount of work to sustain the economy and not let this pandemic, crush us. So they've been doing a great job. But I will tell you, the private sector is coming just as fast as the government is, and it's pretty exciting actually.
yeah.
We're still in this, and this thing's going to be around for a while.
Hmm.
But from our perspective, we're turning a corner, and we're going to see now that fall is here and schools are starting back up,
Yeah,
and we're in an election year, so it's going to be an odd end of the year. But right
yes.
now, as of today, things are pretty good.
Yeah. And are you seeing a lot of demand coming from nationally, or are you seeing like regionals or certain areas that's getting funded, and also the different classes? Like, where do you see, for better with the pitfalls, like what's the stronger classes right now that you see being funded?
I can tell you now, the 1 to 4 unit is really strong, and multifamily is it's funny. Multifamily is always in favor, right? Because you have cash flow. But multifamily right now is white hot. Apartment complexes where somebody lives, hard times, bad times, people need to live someplace. So multifamily is really hot. But we're getting deals done across the across the gamut. You wouldn't think strip malls would be good now, or retail, or like I said earlier, office buildings. But we're getting them done across sectors. But probably the hottest segment right now is multifamily by far. Cash flowing properties, people live there. Investors can't go wrong, and lending is risk, and that's probably the least risky asset class today is multifamily.
Yes, I'm sure. I think right now that's kind of a hot topic. It's been like that for the last 5 years. I know certainly when I was in Texas, everybody was trying to get into this multifamily deals. It's something that's a really strong point. And as you said, people need somewhere to live, right? And what about deals that are happening nationally? Tell me a little bit about what it is your company does and like where you guys are, and what sort of things that you guys do right now, so that the audience can kind of have a look at that.
Absolutely. So 11 Capital Finance, we're a national finance broker. I've been doing commercial real estate finance for over 25 years. We're kind of a, I don't want to be cliche, a one-stop shop, but our true distinguisher is not only having hundreds of lenders and thousands of loan programs, but we're a full service brokerage. And that's very rare, believe it or not, for a broker. You would just naturally assume that a broker is full service, but that's not necessarily the case. What full service really means is the third parties. We are the quarterback for our clients from start to finish. And that's what makes, commercial and real estate investing more complicated than, say, a home loan, is that you have all the third party reports, everything from a title company to your appraisal to buyers and sellers attorneys to insurance. On the bigger deals, you have environmentals, you may have municipalities. These deals can get very, very complicated. And, that's our specialty. I mean, I'll give you an example. We just did a deal, $1 million cash out. Now, what I'll tell you about cash out, banks aren't doing $1 million cash out. Credit unions aren't doing $1 million cash out. And that's prior to a pandemic, let alone during a pandemic. And they certainly aren't giving somebody $1 million cash out after a pandemic unless there's some very, very compelling use of funds. We just did $1 million cash out. One of our lenders that we've done business with for many, many years, and again, through no fault of their own, ended up freezing because of the pandemic. Well, we were able to pivot while they were frozen and actually get that deal done, right? Yeah. So think about the borrower that's trying to get liquid during a pandemic. He thinks that he has a layup. He has plenty of equity in his property, and all of a sudden the lender pulls the rug underneath them.
Yes.
Well, under normal circumstances, what do you think happens to that borrower? They're in trouble, right? They don't know who to turn to. Maybe they're trying their credit union next, or they're all over the place. For us, it was a matter of quickly pivoting, and guess what? Within a week after the deal blowing up with the first lender, we got it done. So that's really our specialty. We have some of the best closers in the country. Megan Krejci, our company president, is probably one of the best closers I've ever seen in the 25 years I'm doing this. I liken her to the ocean moving mountains. It's just time and pressure. I think she wears the lenders down to succumb to her will. She's awesome to work with. But that's our specialty. Is we literally are the quarterback on deals. The way I liken it is this: you could do your own plumbing. You could get a book on how to do your own, electrical in your house. You could actually put on your own roof. You could, right? All of the listeners could, but do we? No, because you use a trained professional to do these things for you. When you're talking about real estate investing, especially commercial, these are the largest transactions a human being can do in their lifetime, right? So why would you think that you would want to go it alone and possibly think that it'll go smoothly, or you're getting the best interest rates and terms? That's the point. That's why you use, a trained professional to assist you. Saves you lots of time and money. We specialize. We look at all credit types. We are fine with storied loans and specialty loans, bankruptcies, tax liens. None of that scares us. We specialize in foreign nationals. We do all property types, everything from that multifamily to a casino, to an airport, to a single family investment property, to a mobile home park. So we kind of are again, I don't want to be cliche with the term throwing that around, one-stop shop, but that's what we are. We employ a lot of technology, but there are a lot of manual processes in our business, and we have the best processors, underwriters, and closers that work hard for our clients. So that's kind of our little commercial, so to speak.
Okay, good. Well, I mean, that's really good. So if anybody wanted to get hold of you or contact you guys, how is the best way to get a hold of you?
Best way to get a hold of us is our website, 11capitalfinance.com. You can also email info@11capitalfinance.com. And when you go to the website, you'll see our 800 number there. We always have operators standing by. Another thing that I'll just mention, we also are always looking for folks to join the team. We have a net branch opportunity. It's a safe work from home opportunity. You definitely want to check that out. We call it IEP Ultra, where we have a loan school. And, my goal is and always has been is to create the next generation of commercial loan brokers. So check out IEP Ultra as well. Pretty neat program, hundreds of hours of training. And you can do this business working safely from home. So definitely take a peek at that if you are one of the millions of people that are unemployed right now or looking to supplement income. Pretty neat program.
And because this is a global TV station, this only applies for the US, right? I presume is what you're talking about.
Okay, so finance is limited to the United States. That's our footprint. There's probably not a day that goes by that someone is asking for international deals. That's just a whole new complexity. When you're dealing with different currencies and governments and even a matter of getting paid. What do you do when you have a $30,000 commission that's coming in and somebody decides not to pay you and they're across the pond? Things can get kind of difficult. So our footprint as far as lending is the United States. Now, what I will tell you that's neat is our opportunity to offer, these loans is international. We have plenty of net branches from all around the United States. It's a very, very lucrative industry. And it's safe. When the pandemic hit, it was business as usual for us as opposed to some lenders freezing. But, we maintained some offices that we closed, but we all have the ability to work from home. We have for 25 years. My CTO is in Orlando, Florida. My COO is in Wisconsin. My senior underwriters in Iowa. And, some of these folks I've worked with for many years and I've never even met. So pretty neat opportunity if somebody is, but, take a look, go online. It's a $1 trillion industry. And very, very lucrative industry if people are looking to earn. It's provided me a pretty outstanding lifestyle for the majority of my life. So, I can't say enough about it. We're pretty proud of what we built here. We call it a broker in a box where somebody can actually get into the industry, learn about the industry. And another thing that's very unique is it's earn while you learn. And that's really, think about this, how unique that is. You can't earn while you learn if you were an insurance agent, right? You couldn't do it as a lawyer. You most certainly couldn't do it as a doctor, right? Typically, you have to go to school. A lot of it, school's very, very expensive. Look at any university, and maybe you're making money in 2 or 3 years. I've seen people join and make 10 grand within the first 45 to 60 days. Now that's lightning in a bottle. First phone call, close a 10 grand, commission deal. But I see it happen all the time. It is building a business, but we're pretty excited about that. Another unique thing, since we already work with the SBA for so many years and why we were on the front end of this payroll protection and the programs that come, the pandemic's going to stick around for a while, right? And I know that they are talking a vaccine by the end of the year, and we'll see, right? And that comes with its own peril of a rushed vaccine. So that's pretty scary stuff. Look, the ability to work from home is very relevant. Real estate investments is never going to go out of style. So it is something that people should really take a hard look at. And we're moving quickly, and it's only going to get busier and busier because we represent government loan programs. So when they come out with the next round of stimulus or Main Street lending, we're on the front line. So, look, the government deploys trillions of dollars to businesses and real estate. Anybody in the middle of that gets financially well, right? Yeah. So it's a neat time to be in our business. Scary days for what's going on in the world, but as far as a business, we're doing well. I mean, we've definitely turned we're on the other side of this for now, and we're going to see what happens this year with the election and what the pandemic's going to do, and flu season and everything else.
Well, I think I heard a saying once, in bad times you need people like you, and in good times you really need people like you still. So you get the best of both worlds there, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially with technology, with the technology we've developed and algorithms.
Yeah.
It's in bad times. Well, who do you turn to? That's again, I go back to the deal that we had just done.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many borrowers I see, friends that are in real estate that get stuck with their own bank, and then they're coming to me saying they froze. What do I do? And if you're not doing this, right, if you're not seeing hundreds or thousands of deals, how are you really going to know who's doing what? Because do you think a big lender or a household name or a bank is going to go on TV and say, hey, we're not in business for the next 2 months?
Yeah.
Right.
Tough.
Nobody's going to say that, right? They're going to stall your loan file. It's still in underwriting. The processor's on vacation, and they're going to stall you, but nobody's going to go on TV and say, hey, we're not lending.
Yeah.
That's the business we're in, especially secondary market lenders who get their money from investors. They're not going to tell the world that they're not lending. They're just going to stall. So we're in this. So that's our true value is we know who's doing what, and we get them done. So I'm pretty proud to be a part of the organization.
So what do you see happening in the next 6 to 12 months with COVID? You think we're going to recover from this? You think there's another rounds of COVID-19 coming at the end of the year? You're hearing a lot of talk around town that there's a second wave to hit. What is your predictions on that, or what do you see happening in your world?
Well, here's what I do know. I do know, and again, you hear the terms the new normal.
Yes.
It's the new normal. What the world's going to look like in a couple years, none of us really knows. It's the flu, right? People on a normal flu get sick, and unfortunately, there's casualties.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is as far as economies, and I mean global economies. The economy is a living, breathing organism as well, right? It is, and irregardless of what's happening with this illness, the economies, they all have to go on, because there's going to be a whole heck of a lot more casualties with shutdowns and things like that. I think that we're going to adapt. I'm not a doomsayer or gloom and doom, but look, the fact of the matter is people are going back to school. People are getting antsy. We just came out of a holiday weekend. We're social human beings. We're not meant to be cooped up, and we want to see our families, which will create, by default, a spike.
Yes.
It will, right? But we're going to get through this. I think we just need to stick together. We need to do follow the guidelines and wear our masks and do the best social distancing we can do.
Yeah.
And business is going to go on. It's not going to go on for some. But, I will tell you in every bad thing that has probably ever happened in history, something positive is born out of it.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe it's the next big pharmaceutical company. Maybe it's Amazon too. Maybe it's new technologies that are invented. So look, I'm a positive guy. I think we're going to get through this. We're going to take it day at a time. I can tell you, we're doing okay. Financially, our people are. I'm seeing deals get done. So again, we're just going to have to hunker down. Every generation has its plight. Wars, plague, you name it, 9/11. I mean, every generation has, our thing. And this is unfortunately our generation's thing and our kids, but we're going to get through this. We just need to be positive and do what we're supposed to do. And that's my prediction. I think we are going to get through this. I think there are going to be certain segments that are going to get hit hard. That they're just a matter of it. Especially with fear, and that's why I don't like doomsayers or fear mongers, because living through I'm a mortgage guy, living through the mortgage markets in 2008. I saw what fear did to the markets, and that was a lot of fear, believe it or not. There was some reality there, but once the market has so much fear, it creates this chaos and it can get out of control. Now we're talking about global chaos. So everybody needs to be very, very cautious and be optimistic, because that fear, when it sneaks into markets and investors, can be very detrimental, way detrimental than what's going on. So we do need to stay positive, and people that are, have a microphone or a platform need to spread positivity, not negativity, right?
Yeah, that's one of the big reasons why GCRE came out or was launched is, primarily, people are like asking us, are you going to do like the CNBC, the Bloomberg, and the top people? And our verdict was really, no, we want to actually have the foot soldiers who are on the ground, as we call them, actually doing the day in, day out, dirty work, and actually know the industry, know what's happening, know what's going on, what's moving, what's not, and what's happening, and could really give the advice that we want our viewers. So we really appreciate you joining our call today, Christopher, to actually give those perspectives from somebody who's not just, sitting in an ivory tower, as we would say, but who's actually living, breathing it, and doing it on a daily basis. So we appreciate that, and we look forward to having you again more in the show. The last thing before I go is any advice for people in the CRE will considering what's going on right now?
Hey, look, there's going to be a lot of deal flow out there. There's a lot of opportunity. Again, there is always opportunity in bad times, right? There's a lot of statistics out there. A lot of new millionaires are being born every single day. We're on the money side of it. And again, I'm glad you said the foot soldiers on the ground, because we're in it every day. We know deals are getting done. We just handed somebody $1 million who wanted some liquidity. Right. I mean, that's a pretty nice thing. And hey, to make, $30,000 on a transaction, that's not a bad, that's a nice Labor Day gift, right? 30 G's. Working in your pajamas, not a bad gig. So, I appreciate you having us here. And we'll do this as much as you want. And again, we'll get you guys plenty of content, let you know what's happening. And again, the next month, please feel free to check back in the next month. September, the next month or two is really going to be interesting. And then obviously November. So we're here to give you, what's happening, what's not happening. And, we'll let you know. We're positive, but we'll tell you if there's any bad news too.
All right, good. So guys, you've heard it live here first from the man, Christopher Perez. He's the guy to know when you're looking for finance, when you're looking for loans, for bridging loans, mortgages for the commercial real estate world. He's a guy to go to. Again, Christopher, just give them your contact details so that they have it.
Okay, best place to go is 11capitalfinance.com. That is the number 11capitalfinance.com. You can send an email to info@11capitalfinance.com. And if you go to our website, you'll see our 800 number listed there. Quick 5-minute loan application. We do have a weekly podcast. If you have deals, we actually record this. If you have a deal or if you're looking at a deal, it's called the Money with Meg podcast with Megan Krejci, our company president. Again, as I mentioned, best closer in the country. You can actually join one of her live deal talk calls if you're looking at a transaction or a piece of real estate you want to invest in. Megan can give you live best advice every Wednesday at 1:00. So check out her podcast, Money with Meg, and you can talk to one of the best financial people live on your specific deals every Wednesday at 1:00.
All right, Christopher, thank you for that. And guys, we thank you and appreciate the support. And we look forward to seeing you on the next show. Take care, guys.
Again, bye-bye.